Well, welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to work on job 7, which is the 1-inch drive cleat that's needed to join two pieces of ductwork. So if you can see that back there, I think you can. We've got an 8-inch tall duct and then a drive cleat that forms the two edges and connects them and locks them together. So if I slide it over here, if I was to pull it apart, we can bend these corners up and slide that down, permitted that it doesn't get hooked by anything there, and it just slides off on the other end. If I spin it around there, the two bent edges of the two pieces of duct that connect with our S cleat here as well. So that's basically this part I'm moving here is what we're going to be fabricating up today. And so let's get on with it. Here we go. So job 7 is building the drive cleat. It says studying the instructions per plate 1 on the next page. We're going to make our drives to fit an 8-inch long duct, and it also states down here that the drives should be at least 1.5 inches longer than the height of the duct. So if it's an 8, we need to make it 9.5 inches long, and that's, I believe, what we've got lined up for the next piece. So looking at the next page, you can see that they've got the main portion or the main plan for the drive cleat laid out here. A lot of this part can be done using just simply a notcher and a scribe. So we're going to do that first of all here. First things first, we've got to get our part, and we measured the length of it, 9.5 inches in length and 2.125 inches in width to complete this piece here. So I've already done that, 9.5 inches by 2.125 inches in width there. I only cut one. It says for the project, to complete the entire project, you need at least 32 pieces, 9.5 inches long. But we can also make them in the machine, or they can be purchased down the road as well. So we're just going to start with one for right now. In order to complete this, we've taken a look at our plans here, and it says that we need 1/2 inch marks to indicate where this bend line has to be, which we're going to do that in the apron break. And then it wants to have a notch 3/4 inch in and 1/2 inch down at those center points on all 4 corners. So let's do that now. So I've already marked, I suppose I should show you that. I've already marked the 1/2 inch width on the table using the scribe, just running it along the edges on both sides there to come up with that using that tool. So here I have my 3/4 inch notcher. This one's by Malco. There's others. There's Hillmore's got them, and everybody's got them. And then you just put it right on your 1/2 inch mark with the center of the tip, and you squeeze that off, and it pops that out, that section. And we'll do the same again a second time right on the other 1/2 inch mark. We'll flip this piece over. And with the 4th one as well. Just like that. Okay, now we've got a piece that looks similar to that. We've got our starting function. Now all we have to do is we've got to knock off the edges there. Some people prefer to have more of an angle or less an angle, depending on how you look at it here, on how they cut that off so it can connect to their bent drive on the other piece of the duct there. It really doesn't matter to me. I mean, I can fabricate them in the field as well too if needed. So if I was to go something like this, I do think that would be a little bit short, so I just use my notcher and just kind of bottom it out on both corners there and pop that out. Some people do like to have them steeper than that. Some people like them less. Makes me no difference. We're going to be taping the joints there when we're done anyhow for sealing purposes, as long as they stay in place. So we just go around all 4 corners like that and notch them out. And it kind of makes a mess, so try to keep it all cleaned up. So if we look at our plan, we now have everything cut out and notched out as it should be with that. So let's go on to the next page, and we'll get into the bending portion of this project. So basically what they're showing here is an exploded view of the edge, looking at it like this, and it's saying we're going to take the 1/2 inch edge and we're going to roll that over in our apron break, and we should have a remaining approximately 1 5/8 left over. Here, let me slide this out so we can read it. So if I set it right on the inch, it should come out to 1 5/8, and it does. So that works out. Let's go ahead and go on over to the apron break, and let's put that first bend on it. If you recall, in the previous project, I had some issues with that Pittsburgh seam not being tightened up, so I did adjust it. It's better. It's not perfect yet. I found out this brake has had some fabrication done to it, and there's no adjustment left on the right side because they happened to weld it, unfortunately. But so currently we're close. It needs to be closed down, but not 100% tight. It has to have enough room in there to be able to slide another piece of sheet metal inside of it. So on that second bend, after we bent that, I'll slide it back down here on the edge, we're not going to pull that 100% tight. We're just going to bring it down so it's within about an 1/8 inch or a 1/16 of an inch from being closed there with that part, maybe a little further yet. And that's not too bad. That's pretty decent. It's got a little bit of, like I said, the brake can use some help yet on that. Maybe this end will be a little bit better. Sorry about that. And that kind of made that nicer. So now let's go back to our plan so you're following along here. There's your exploded view with that first bend. Let's go on to the next page then. And the next page says it takes the second bend, and we're basically going to perform the same result in the other direction with the 1 1/8 left over. So let's go ahead and do that now. So slipping it into the brake right on our 1/2 inch mark, line that up on both edges. And we're going to pull that up just like we did before up to the stop. Again, it looks like that, and we got to finish closing that down to make a match. We're not going to close it tight again because, again, we need to get that piece of metal inside of there. So let's go back to our project, and it should measure now our 1/2 inch in here. And these are some approximate numbers, 1/2 inch here as well. Some people like to have them a little bit wider than that, but approximately with an 1/8 inch gap or so in between is pretty ideal. And then 1 1/8 on the outside, in which this one actually came right out pretty decent with that. So that'd be a decent drive clip. Some manufacturers will actually have a punch that will make this outside edge round. Some people won't cut it at all. I do like to see them cut, so if you have to take it apart, it's a little easier to straighten that out. But anyway, moving on with that. So that's your second bend and the end result taken care of there. And now they're going to show you how the connection is made. So I'm going to demonstrate on this particular piece here of the 1/2 of the duct. On the half of the duct, you'll see that we took a bar break and we have already bent a 90-degree. And then the next duct is going to slide into here with an S-clip on it, and the other piece will have this exact same bend on it. So we're going to take the edges here and we're going to hook that, and it'll actually slide down over top the two pieces of the duct on each side, and then we'll bend the top and bottom over to lock them in place. So it'll look like this one here. I don't know if you can see that very well, but if this was split, so we got our S-clip up here, the ducts formed together through that S formation. We've got both pieces of material bent with that 1/2 inch, and then, just for indication purposes, we'll slide it on from one end to the other, and then it'll be done. This one's already has one on it, so it'll be just something like that, and finish it off by bending it over. So that's our drive cleat configuration there. And I believe it does give you one more plan with some more dimensions that go along with that for that drive cleat as well. So the 1 1/8 width, approximately an 1/8 inch tall, 1/8 inch gap, and the 1/2 inch sections for that. So there's your three-dimensional view of the project of the two pieces of duct just laying flat with those 1/2 inch bends on the duct, and then your drive cleats sliding over them. And that will wrap up that project. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one. Later.